The prophecy has begun. The ancestors have spoken your name. Let me know if this sounds familiar. At the end of each day, you do your best to rest and recover from the day. But there's a lot of chaos happening in the world right now. As a spiritually sensitive person, you have mastered grounding, shielding, and clearing your energy. You are following your personal protocol to a T. And yet somehow it's never enough and it never lasts the way it used to. But you know that this too shall pass, and yet you think there must be something more for you out there. So you say to yourself, hey, it's a new moon in Taurus where there's a witch or a wizard. There's a way. And I want to let you know because the stars and the ancestors are conspiring in your favor at all times. And they absolutely see you struggling, and so do I. And guess what? We all have got your back, bestie. Big time. Welcome, my magical friend. My name is Beth Hansen, and I am a star priestess and witch, using true sidereal astrology to read the sky and the charts that actually match the positions of all the stars and constellations. This is not your mainstream astrology, which has left behind the stars by standing still. Nope, we like real live astronomy and real live constellations. So when you look at the sky, you can see what constellation your favorite planet is in. Because right now, Jupiter is in Gemini and it's clear in the stars. So if you want to add that star magic to your life or just learn more about it, go ahead and click the link down below where it says you can unlock the new zodiac using my free PDF, and I'll send it right to your inbox. Are you ready to heed the call of the ancestors? Because whether you call it a dimensional shift, a new earth, or ascending consciousness, the result is the same. What we tend to call the veil or the barrier between us and the other world of mystical beings and energies, well, it hasn't just thinned. Sometimes it's completely gone due to the shifting energies which are very real and felt here on the planet with the volcanoes and the earthquakes and everything that's going on. So while our physical world appears to be falling apart in front of our eyes, our sensitive, magical spidey senses are setting off alarms left and right. And you do your best to keep up with it, but man, that's a lot of fires to either put out or just avoid altogether. So let me tell you what I've learned about this from studying the real sky. Nothing about this is random, and nothing about this is easy. But the universe says Mother Earth needs a complete upgrade, so that's what she's getting. And this was all foretold by Edgar Cayce, the Sleeping Prophet, and Dolores Cannon, who was a past life regressionist, and the amazing things that came through when she regressed people taught her a lot about what's going on. So where does that leave us, humanity, and witchy pagan folk, and mystical folk of all stripes? We are just living on the surface, making a huge mess of everything around us, unless we look for the answers in the stars and from our ancestors. Just like our most ancient ancestors did, we look up and we find the truth. And whether it is your bloodline ancestry or a spiritual and magical heritage, both are valid and we can connect to them right now. But this isn't my fantasy of what I think is happening here. I'm not just making this stuff up. This is based on my continuing study following training with Athen Commente, Dr. Danny, and Ike Rodriguez, who gave me my certification in 2025. But my gifts and my magic, my twin sister and I were 4 years old when our mother who was a registered nurse and taught surgical nursing, in fact, not a stupid person, decided it would be a good idea to test her identical twin daughters for ESP. So at 4 years old, I was being flashed Zener cards. And if you don't know what those are, watch the original Ghostbusters, because that's exactly what we were doing without the electric shocks. And then she tested us for telepathic communication abilities using the Jose Silva's Silva mind method techniques. It was the 70s. And I have to ask you, how many 4-year-olds go around at Thanksgiving and tell all their cousins, aunts, and uncles that they have ESP, extrasensory perception? Yes, I could pronounce it by then. Well, 2. The answer to that is 2, my sister and I. But here's the rub. Tropical astrology told us that the full moon in Scorpio was at the beginning of May. But it wasn't. It was at the very end of Virgo in the real sky. Totally different vibe. And now we're coming up to this new moon in Taurus. This is something that we are actually sharing. This is the one time of the year we share that little sliver of the sky with tropical astrology, Vedic astrology, and Western sidereal and true sidereal astrology. So we are beginning this lunar cycle with a new moon in Taurus. And boy, howdy, what an incredible moon this is going to be. So, but the Scorpio full moon, that happens on May 31st. It will be the second full moon in the month, which is colloquially known as the blue moon. So the true sky is showing what's really going on in the galaxy and frankly the whole universe. And there's an astronomy app that shows us how. Let's open Stellarium and see what the stars have to tell us. Okay, here we are on May 16th, and this is the new moon in Taurus. And the first personal planet leading the way, that is Venus at the very end of Taurus. And she is followed by the outer planet Uranus, then Mercury, Sun, and Moon. And finally, ending with dwarf planet Ceres. So we actually have 3 representatives of the divine feminine within earthy Taurus, which is a earth and female sign. And Uranus is broadcasting wild transmissions of radical change, reprogramming Mother Earth from beyond the visible sky. And then there's Mercury, the quick-witted messenger of the gods, a psychopomp who's able to cross any border, even death, and return with the words that have been said and the messages to be passed on. All of these are conjunct the Pleiades, also called the Seven Sisters. It's a cluster of 7 stars, and it's also associated with fairy or elf star, which has 7 points. The month of May is named in honor of the goddess Maya, who has been called the most beautiful of the 7 sisters of the Pleiades. Together, they are weaving the messages into a spiritual and energetic packet so that the moon can carry it over to the ancestors on May 31st for the full moon in Scorpio. And when it gets there, this is the moon being conjunct with the royal star of Persia Antares, the watcher of the west, also known as the Archangel Uriel, holding the flaming sword at the gates of the Garden of Eden. None may return once they have left, all connected, all on the full moon. And it is May 31st, but it might as well be October 31st, All Hallows Eve, for all the lively spirits that will be walking and talking amongst us. Ancestors, the mighty dead, the fairies, good people themselves, and elves that are going to be there to assist us with this energy as it is revealed on the full moon, all when there is no border between the worlds. And this is why we study true sky astrology, looking at the stars above with reverence and wonder, so we can live our lives with mirth, joy, and, of course, the magic of the stars. And if you have any questions on how we harness that here on Mother Earth, then I've got a special announcement to make live on Saturday, May 30th, the day before that full moon. I am doing a masterclass called A New Look at the Houses in True Sky Astrology, where I will be going over everything that I have learned about working with those from the position of somebody who is a Reiki master and tarot reader, and I am used to magic, and energy is my jam. It's all about the energies and being able to harness them. There is a link below so you can claim your spot, and be sure to type in the comments that you're ready to take a new look at the houses. Oh, and if you've grabbed your free PDF, Unlock the New Zodiac, put in the comments Zodiac Unlocked as well. I really want to be able to welcome you to the True Sky Tribe. Now, you're probably asking yourself, Beth, I don't want to wait until the 30th to know how to harness this energy and use it in my real life. You promised me star magic. You promised me ancestors. You promised me that they called my name. And yeah, I did promise you all that because I want to share with you my personal practice that I have started recently, and it's made a huge difference for me. You can tap into this upgrade safely and without being overwhelmed by asking a tree to be your upgrade guru. It is a simple practice. Just sit on the ground or stand leaning against the tree with your back against the tree. Reach out and touch the tree. Reach out and touch and feel that bark with your hands. Settle in and get comfortable. Take a couple of clearing breaths. Align your spine with the trunk. Close your eyes. And just allow yourself to relax into the tree. Feel your body resting on Mother Earth. And if you can have your feet barefoot and touching grass, even better. And all you have to do is focus on your breathing and center your energy in your heart. Go ahead and just count your breaths. I do 33, one for each of the vertebrae. This is the master number. This is how magic happens. This is how you bring the stars down from the sky to Mother Earth. The tree's already done that. He's getting all the codes, all the upgrades, all the energies, and all the whispers from your ancestors. And that is being held in those leaves and branches and twigs and brought down the trunk. And the roots are reaching up from Mother Earth, pulling up the codes that have stabilized already in her. There's a ton of stuff above the surface that is driving us nuts right now. But when you can tap into that and you get that solid cosmic and earth-based energy aligned in your spine, and your heart beats out to Mother Earth, and you open your body and your breath, 33 breaths. Wow. I thought I was I'm like, what just happened the first time I did it? Oh my gosh. I was in a really mellow zone. I'm a very high-strung person, and I'm sure that there are plenty of you out there. Your guru tree, it does the work. You're not raising energy. You're not calling it down. You are just sitting and allowing the tree to give you what you need each day building on the previous day's codes that have come in overnight from the stars and the planets and the vibrations of the universe and the vibrations of Mother Earth, the ones which have stabilized and can be held. I like to think of, have I hugged my tree today? I better go do that. One day at a time, and before you know it, they pass. But I would suggest doing it at least until the next new moon in Taurus in June. Because yes, we are getting 2 new moons in Taurus, because remember, true sidereal astrology is based on the actual size of the constellations. They're not divvied up in an even 30-degree spots. Nope. We use the entire constellations for this, and it is a wonderful thing. So right now, even before you take that first step and meet your guru tree, go ahead and ask yourself and ask your guides, guardians, gods, ancestors, source, great spirit, whatever it is, your higher self, your inner knowing, ask, what is the next step I can take to use constellational astrology for myself? There's a bunch of links down below to get you started. I have got it linked to Stellarium-Web, which is the program that shows the stars, and all you have to do is put your dates in there and you will know when the magic is working, because you're going to find yourself turning off the media, turning off all the drama, stepping back from anger, stepping back from fear. And once you're able to clear some of that chaos energy away from you, then those voices of the ancestors that are gathering for that full moon. Now, I know in astrology they say full moon isn't the thing, it's the new moon. And yes, the new moon is key, it's the seed. But my gosh, this full moon, and as a witch, once in a month, we gather under the full moon and dance and praise her and bring her down, bring her energy down into our bodies and speak her name and allow her to cover us with her light. And light is energy, it is vibration. And she's carrying a lot of it, because she's going, not just what she's got starting out, but she is going to be passing over the other planets of Venus and Jupiter before she gets there. And Rahu, the south node. And I've got a whole video on that as well. So the days start to go a little smoother. Your step is a little lighter. And your new friend tree has given you strength and resilience. So much so that people are starting to notice. And your nervous system, well, it no longer feels like somebody took a weed whacker to it. And that is what happens when you work with the real sky, the real stars, and the real magic they bring, real results. So there's your 4 R's for your lesson today. And so what has landed for you? Are you more excited about this new moon and connecting with the Pleiades as the seed form? Or are you excited for having Halloween at the end of May and connecting with the ancestors and that beautiful Scorpio moon? Let me know in the comments, and any other thoughts or questions. I always check in and answer the first few days after I post a video. So now you know all about the prophecy that has begun and the ancestors who have spoken your name. You might be wondering about the 2026 predictions that mainstream astrology is not telling you. And when you combine what you just learned with this video right up here, it is way more powerful. All right, my star friend, blessed be, namaste, and all that jazz. And I will see you in the next video.